Hi, this is Miss Terena. Today I'm going to read a classic story. That means a classic story is a story that's been around for a really long time and people keep reading it over and over, grandparents, parents, children, and on. It's called a classic. The book is called Corduroy. And on the cover you see a bear wearing green corduroy overalls, and he's looking down at a button, a white button. Interesting. I wonder what the story is going to tell us about this silly bear. Let's find out. So the book is called Corduroy, and it is written by Don Freeman. Okay. Corduroy is a bear who once lived in the toy department of a big store. Day after day, he waited with all the other animals and dolls for somebody to come along and take him home. Here he is. There's our friend Corduroy the bear in his green overalls, and he's standing on a shelf. And there's a clown doll and a bunny doll. There's a little baby doll with golden hair and a giraffe doll. And they're all just sitting there in the big store waiting for someone to buy them. The store was always filled with shoppers buying all sorts of things. But no one ever seemed to want a small bear in green overalls. So this is a picture of the store. There's lots and lots and lots of people, and you can hardly see them, but way down here in the giant store, there's the shelf, and here is Corduroy in his green overalls just sitting there. And I see in the picture a woman holding the hand of a little girl, and the little girl is looking at the shelf and at Corduroy. Then one morning, a little girl stopped and looked straight into Corduroy's bright eyes. "Oh, Mommy," she said, "look, there's the very bear I've always wanted." "Not today, dear," her mother sighed. "I've spent too much already. Besides, he doesn't look new. He's lost the button to one of his shoulder straps." There's that little girl. She's wearing a pink jacket, and she has a kerchief over her hair to cover the hair on her head. And there's Corduroy. Oh, she looks very excited, but Mom in the purple coat shakes her head no. Not today. Corduroy watched them sadly as they walked away. Oh, does look a little sad. And he is missing a button. I didn't know I'd lost a button, he said to himself. Tonight I'll go and see if I can find it. There he is. He's looking down at his strap. How is he going to find that button? Well, late that evening, when all the shoppers had gone and the doors were shut and locked, Corduroy climbed carefully down from his shelf and began searching everywhere on the floor for his lost button. So here's a picture of Corduroy. He's coming down from the shelf. He's stepping on a box to get to the floor. And then here's a picture of him standing on the floor. The rug is on the floor. There's carpet. And Corduroy is there looking down all over. Maybe my button is on the floor, he's thinking. It's a good place to start because when things fall, like fall off a table, fall off a shelf, fall off your clothes, they usually do end up on the floor, so it's pretty smart of him to start there. Suddenly, he felt the floor moving under him. Quite by accident, he'd stepped onto an escalator, and up he went. While he was looking on the floor, he wound up on the escalator. An escalator is a staircase that moves, so it brings you up to the next level without having to go step, step, step. It's like a big machine, and it lifts you up. He accidentally got on the escalator. He does look a little nervous. Could this be a mountain, he wondered. I think I've always wanted to climb a mountain. There he is. on the gray escalator going up to the next floor, the floor of the department store. Corduroy doesn't know what an escalator is. He thinks it's a mountain. He stepped off the escalator as it reached the next floor, and there, before his eyes, was the most amazing sight. Tables and chairs and lamps and sofas and rows of bed. This must be a palace, Corduroy gasped. I guess I've always wanted to live in a palace. Wow, there's so much furniture in this room. So much. And here he is, our teeny tiny Corduroy in his green pants with the escalators behind him. You can see the light from the escalator. And there's more red carpeting, the red carpeting on the floor. And the room is full of furniture. Tons of furniture. There's a whole row of beds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 beds. That's a lot of beds. They're all for sale. But Corduroy thinks it's a palace. He wandered around, admiring the furniture. Oh, this must be a bed, he said. Oh, I've always wanted to sleep in a bed. And up he crawled onto a large, thick mattress. There he is. He's climbing up on the big white mattress. The mattress is that really nice, soft part of the bed that you get to lie on, and it's all cozy and comfy. All at once, he saw something small and round. Oh, why, here's my button, he cried, and he tried to pick it up. But like all the other buttons on the mattress, it was tied down tight. Here's a picture of Corduroy. He's got both of his hands. He's leaning over and he's trying to pull up that button. But it's tied down onto the mattress. I don't think that's his button. Otherwise, why would it be tied to the mattress? But Corduroy doesn't know that. What's he going to do? He yanked and pulled with both paws until, pop, off came the button. And off the mattress, Corduroy toppled. That means he fell. So here's the mattress, and here's Corduroy falling backwards. His feet are in the air. His head is by the floor. There's a lamp behind him. And flying up in the air is a little white dot, and that's the button he managed to pull. But when he pulled it, he toppled. That means he fell on the ground. Oof! Bang! Into a tall floor lamp. Over it fell with a crash. Oh my. Oh, there's Corduroy. He's got his paws up by his ears. Oh, that was so loud and scary. Oh no. Corduroy didn't know what to do. There was someone else awake in the store. The night Watchman was going his rounds on the floor above, and when he heard the crash, he came running down the escalator. The night watch person. So he's the security person, making sure that no one comes in and does silly things or bad things. He has a flashlight, and he's coming down. What was that sound? Who made that crash? Now, who in the world did that? He exclaimed. Somebody must be hiding around here. He has his flashlight out, and he sees the lamp on the ground. Somebody must have snuck in and knocked over that lamp. So now he's looking around with his flashlight. He's going to find, who could it be? He flashed his light under and over sofas and beds until he came to the biggest bed of all. And there he saw two fuzzy brown ears sticking up from under the cover. There it is. Little teeny tiny bear ears. Oh, Corduroy is hiding in a big bed, and he pulled up the blankets like this, and he's like, oh, don't look. I'm not under the bed. Don't look. Uh-oh. The night watchman pulled back the blanket and saw Corduroy. Hello, he said. How did you get upstairs? There he is, Corduroy. There. Oh, he's very frightened of the big bright light and the man holding the big bright light. Oh, what's going to happen to poor Corduroy? He's so scared. The watchman tucked Corduroy under his arm and carried him down the escalator. Oh, he's okay. He's not going to hurt Corduroy. He just tucked him under his arm. He's carrying him down the escalator back to the toy department. He set him on the shelf in the toy department with the other animals and dolls. Well, there's Corduroy back on the shelf. All the other dolls, the bunny, the China doll, the clown, they're all asleep. And there's Corduroy back on his shelf. He didn't find his button, but he did have an adventure. Corduroy was just waking up when the first customers came into the store in the morning. And there, looking at him with a wide, warm smile, was the same little girl he'd seen only the day before. She came back. There she is with her pink jacket and her cloth kerchief around her head. And she is looking at Corduroy, and Corduroy is looking at her. Aww. I'm Lisa, she said, and you're going to be my very own bear. Last night I counted what I've saved in my piggy bank, and my mother said I could bring you home. There she is. She's holding her dark blue purse, taking out the money to hand to the woman behind the counter who is handing Lisa Corduroy. She's buying Corduroy. Oh, wow. Shall I put him in the box for you? The sales lady asked. Oh, no, thank you, Lisa answered, and she carried Corduroy home in her arms. There they go, out of the store. The little girl bought Corduroy, and she's holding him close in her arms in a great big hug, walking home. She ran all the way up 4 flights of stairs into her family's apartment and straight to her own room. Flights of stairs. Well, she must live in an apartment building, and the stairs go up and up and up and up. 4 floors. Whew! She is really strong to run up all those stairs, but she is running with Corduroy in her hands. She has a big smile on her face. She is so happy. I wonder how Corduroy feels. Corduroy blinked. There was a chair and a chest of drawers, and alongside a girl-sized bed stood a little bed, just the right size for him. The room was small, nothing like that enormous palace in the department store. This must be home, he said. I know, I've always wanted a home. Oh, what a nice place. So there's the little girl. She took off her jacket, and now she's wearing a blue dress. And there's Corduroy next to her, standing next to her, looking around the room. And there's the girl's bed. She has a beautiful quilt, a colorful quilt on her bed. And next to it is a yellow and white little bed just for Corduroy. Aww. Lisa sat down with Corduroy on her lap and began to sew a new button on his overalls. I like you the way you are, she said, but you'll be more comfortable with your shoulder strap fastened. She has a button for Corduroy, and she's sewing it on. Oh, Corduroy is smiling. He has a big smile on his face as she sews a button onto his overalls. You must be a friend, said Corduroy. I've always wanted a friend. Me too, said Lisa, and she gave him a big hug. There they are, friends. The little girl named Lisa hugging Corduroy in her arms. They both look very, very happy. The end. Oh, I like this story. No wonder it's a classic. This book came out before I was even born. That's how old it is. I hope you enjoyed Corduroy, written by Don Freeman. Have a great day.